Okay, you know what? Screw it. You guys can hear my fan. It's a freaking piece of crap. Um, I gotta make something because I didn't never made the recap video for last week. I'll do that after this. But couple things. Thursday night, Colts Jags. I put up a video where I picked the Colts, and they did come through. They won. Real quickly looking at it, great game. Both teams brought everything they had. Indy didn't bring their pass rush, which was why Jacksonville was able to throw so well on them. But both teams were going all out to win. Freeney and Mathis were held out for good reason. And, Manning was on point, pretty much perfect. The interception, really not his fault. That was obviously on Dallas Clark and almost cost him the game. But excellent game from him. The Reggie Wayne pass was perfect. And, he's not hurt. I mean, people were talking, wondering if maybe Manning had some minor injury. Doesn't look like it now. So, Jacksonville, they played tough, but they're just not good enough. And, looking at Reggie Nelson, I thought he played really poorly in that game, and they just don't have the horses. And looking at tonight's game that just finished, I don't know what to tell you. I mean, you think you got this league figured out, and then Dallas goes into New Orleans and pretty much dominates the game. I mean, they only won by a touchdown. The Saints were, 50 yards away from going into overtime and possibly winning, but they controlled this game. The first two drives were perfect by them. The Saints couldn't move the ball worth anything. They just came out there and looked so good. And they carried themselves like they should be that good. The way they were just slowly chewing up the field with Miles Austin, with Marion Barber. Hold on. Sorry about that. I had to go take care of something. But, yeah, the one thing in this game that comes back when I think back to watching the whole thing was one word, Bushrod. And for those of you who don't know who Bushrod is, he's the left tackle of the Saints, and matched up with DeMarcus Ware, he couldn't do it. Could not get it done. So the undefeated Saints fall. I mean, they have problems. Every team in the league this year has problems. There's no nigh invincible juggernaut. There's a team that is extremely good and just doesn't lose, but they're fallible. So, that being said, let's move on to the picks for tomorrow. I want to grind those out now before it gets too late in the night. New England versus Buffalo. In Buffalo, I can't believe the Patriots would let their season end to the Bills. I feel like even if the Bills do play a good game, they'll find a way to blow it at the end. So I'm going to say 15 confidence points in the Patriots. Oh, and I had 7 confidence points in New Orleans, so that's off the board. Arizona at Detroit, 16 confidence points in Detroit. There's no way they lose. Coming off that mess against San Francisco last week, no way. No problem for them. They're going to get it. I think it's going to be a bloodbath. Miami at Tennessee. I like both these teams. And, God, this is tough. I'm going to say Tennessee because it's at home. I'm going to say 6 confidence points. I think maybe they can rattle Chad Henne a little bit. He's still a young guy. But this is a good game. I'm glad I'm getting coverage of it, actually. Cleveland at Kansas City. I guess Arrowhead still means something, so I'm going to say Kansas City in 2 confidence points. Yeah, 2 confidence points. Houston at St. Louis. Oh, and by the way, Kansas City, Cleveland, that has to be the worst game of the year. And I'm not just using hyperbole. I think if you looked at all the other games this year, the 256 games this year, that would be the worst. Houston at St. Louis. Seems like a good day for Andre Johnson to just go off again, actually, since he did last week. 14 confidence points in the Texans. The Falcons at the Jets. I actually like the Falcons here. I think the Falcons, they're due a win. I think both these teams are about equally good, and Atlanta's on a losing streak. I think they're getting some players back. And I think they're going to win a pretty bad game, actually. I think it's time to get off on track. I mean, New York has won 3 games in a row. It's due. That's what it's all about. Oakland to Denver. 11 confidence points in Denver. I don't know, somewhat of a bad feeling here. I'm not ready to commit myself to a 4-touchdown blowout, but I'm sure Denver wins. Cincinnati at San Diego. The Chris Henry thing, which was really sad. I heard about that and I really just felt down because the night before I read something that he was doing okay at the hospital, and the next morning I wake up and he's dead. So I don't know. But it made me think about this. But San Diego's too hot, and I don't know if Cincinnati's good. We thought sweeping Pittsburgh was impressive, but Pittsburgh is bad this year, so that's not impressive. So really, I'm going to say 4 confidence points in San Diego. San Fran at Philly, 12 confidence points in Philly. If nothing else, San Francisco should be exhausted from the long plane ride and beating the crap out of Arizona last week. I don't think it'll be close. Green Bay at Pittsburgh, I'm going to say 3 confidence points in Green Bay. I think they're just the better team, and at this point I got to lend that some credence. 3 confidence points in Green Bay. I could absolutely see Pittsburgh running the table and missing the playoffs by 1 game just like they did in 06. Whatever, Green Bay's better. I got to go with that. I got to go with the team I think is better. Ultimately, I can't play with these scenarios too much. Tampa Bay at Seattle. Maybe I'll talk about this one in a dedicated video, but basically, I'm pretty confident that we can rattle Josh Johnson enough to win, probably significantly. I have 9 confidence points in Seattle winning, and if nothing else, it's a long plane ride from Tampa Bay up to Seattle. But Chicago at Baltimore, the Flacco thing, I don't totally trust Flacco right now, but the Bears are terrible, so 10 confidence points in Baltimore winning. Minnesota, Carolina, 13 confidence points in Minnesota getting it done. It just seems like Matt Moore is going to have Jared Allen in his face all game. And the Giants at Redskins. I think I like the Giants here to get on track. 8 confidence points in the Giants. Okay, that's all the picks, so I got other videos to make. I'll see you guys later.